Sam Altman wrote 2 years ago. Sam Altman is angel investing. Two the most important rules. First, don't care about other investor independent thinking. The number one mistake was that I care too much about what other investor thought. The sooner you can free yourself of this, the better. Very common mistake. You get very shoved by what previously successful investor think. The first question that most people ask why see a startup is who else is investing in around. People totally outsource. I would say 80% investor outsource 80% of decision making to what other people think or an investment opportunity. But the problem is does that. Second, power law is important. The power law means that your single best investment will be will be worth more to you in return that than all of the rest of the investor put together. You second best will be better than three throw investing put together. This is like a deep truth thing that most investors find so counter initiative that it means almost everyone invests the wrong way. So the question that you should be thinking, or the question that most people think about when they start angel investing, is I can hit a bunch angel. It's all about the magnitude of the biggest success. It's not about the failure rate. Most investors talk about the failure rate. Still, when you have people that are trying to build angel fame, so the first question that they ask is what the failure rate, what is acceptable failure rate. Totally the wrong question, totally the wrong way to think about angel investing. You can have 90%, 95% of a investment fail if you them return $1 billion and you will totally happy. Then there is a question about how do we find this company, how do you find a company that can be handful of companies that get started every decade that are responsible for almost all the return. Power law YC has founded 1600 companies. Over top 5 companies represent about 2 by 3 of the value that we created. Total company represent 1 by 3. This is like a very extreme, very counter initiative. If you just starting out, I think what I can have seen the most successful angel investor do is just start helping founder for free. So much of this is about people connecting you to other people you don't know. We talk about this VC. This value is an open network. People of angel investor like a break about how difficult it is to be meeting with them. We try to respond to email to find two people that email us. We take people seriously that have no personal brand, no reputation, no network. We ask people that a network to connect us to the most promising people that they know. They would not already know what the idea that we are available. I think this is two or three most important secret of IC. This was something that we did that was really different. Other people hadn't done it before. In fact, people or the opposite, we want totally the other direction and strongly ground. This is what be open to the random email that comes in. Be open to an introduction of someone that on paper doesn't seem like they who you want to meet. 9 times out of 10 you waste your time. That other time make it totally worth. So 1 week shift that happened in the last 10 years, I'd say, or maybe 15. Even if are you now way more people than what investor then a good startup. So founder have really become in a driver's seat. Founder of good company have a lot of choice when it comes to investors. Founder talk now. The network has gotten bigger. That asymmetry that used to exist where investor had a lot of leverage is gone. I don't think it will come back to time soon. Your reputation matters a lot. Reputation, especially reputation with the companies going badly, super important decision making. The very best investor I made have either been a ridiculous deal because no one else wanted to invest, or deal that felt incredibly expensive. I think value investing is not winning strategy when it comes to being a angel investor. Most of the time, what to invest in, I will condition anything that I will believe that could be a $1 billion company. That is such a tight criteria. I have no other rules. I am willing to look in any stage. I am willing to look in any sector. I am willing to look any business model. There are investors who have this like, oh, I only do this one thing, or on stage maybe they make that work. I have never figured out how In that number one spot on the power law or so it, I suggest you only select the four thing that can be there. Other than that, I really open-minded. If you are starting a nuclear fission company, that a lot of people want to help. What that I think, especially that end of the breaking out, the really important, the thing that is interesting, people proactively want to help you for a free, want to come be part of your team, whatever. This is something to look for. So it is a company that I believe will be able to recruit hundreds of really talented people who could start their own competition. Super important filter that I don't think people think that about. I think you can with practice and founder. Speaking of the obvious thing that everyone screen for, intelligence is really important. You can give a founder an idea that can start a company. The problem is not to come with any new ideas for company. Basically, that like every week you have to come with the crazy new ideas, big challenge all the time. We try to experiment once IYC where we found 20 team of a strong founder that didn't have ideas but were or otherwise really good. What we learned, they are failed. What we learn is that the good founder are the people that have ideas all the time. So there is an intelligence component to this. Creativity component to this. There is an ability to think independent thought component to this. Whatever you want to call this, the idea of particular kind of intelligence. Seeing problem in different ways, the thinking of ideas that don't yet exist. What should you go to have that in a founder? I think you are one of the most founder complications that people don't think about enough. You are higher, you raise money, you tell the sale product, you try and set a direction for a company. You do. You don't want to founder job elegant of the education speed. Oh, this is incredibly correlative with success. So one way to test this during wise is between office hour. We have every week or 10 days. How much progress do founder make? How quickly do take new ideas and try it? I came back and I tried that didn't work out. This order thing did. I process in the process I had built these three new ideas. I tried those rentless cardinals of education is representative of success. Oh, they have iteration speed, the speed which with which they can connect hypothesis, test it and implement it in unbelievable. That really correlated with your success, the rate of improvement of the founder. So if you look at a founder who come you for your seat round the compare the founder to brain, you disappoint 100% of the time. That is a wrong comparison. You will never write a check. However, just like a startup, you look at a growth rate. You should look at the growth rate of the founder as well. So one thing that we can often tell over the 10 week of wise is how fast a founder is improving. It's different how fast the business is improving. And like humans always underestimate exponential growth. So if you notice a founder who is improving incredibly quickly over the couple of months, you get to know that founder pay a lot of attention. Again, you won't get just in the first meeting, but you can find people who are trajectory to develop into brain. Just give that this is super valuable. Oh, this is one. Just I want to search who is this guy. Just get doesn't mean I just founder of Airbnb. I don't know this guy. Okay. Yes, that is super valuable. This is one of those things where I had seen it maybe 10 times in my career so far, where I just know that the founder was going to develop into incredible leader. So it's a very signal. Every time I felt it, it's been right. I really do trust the rate of improvement metric. I think one thing you have to incredibly aware of are wrong motivation. So starting a startup is a long-term commitment. If it's going to work to take more than a decade, it's really hard. Or there is a lot of days where you just want to give up, and there's a lot of people now who start a startup because they think it's a way to get rich quickly, and unfortunately it's not. As a startup, you have become a new default career trajectory for ambitious people, and there is a lot of people who are doing a startup as a term or a way to get rich quickly. This does not work. The amount of pain that you have to travel for a startup, so you really don't want to stay focused on mission-driven founders or focus on really exponential founder people that I am like, wow, I want to go work for him or her. Really important criticize really bad metric for an and unfortunately it has become dogma among investors. The size of the market is most important thing. Even good investors say this. I think they actually mean that what they care about the size of the market in 10 years. What they don't say in that way. What you should care about, of course, is the size of the market in 10 years. What prefer a small market growing super quickly to a very long, very large market today. Super counter initiative. It's far it's far better but more difficult if you can identify the next exponentially growing market in and invest there. This is where independent thought is very really important. This is not something where you can just sort of follow that everybody else say. You got to learn to form your own thought about what the next really big market is going on. Real trend or fake trend. A real trend is one where all thought not many people are participating yet. Who are used platform a lot every day. Their friend spontaneous how great it is. So when the iPhone came out, most of the mobile industry would make fun of it because people only sold million 2 million whatever it was in the first year. But if you talk to anyone who had an iPhone, they this is the greatest piece of technology. I have heard people use it like many hours every day. It was absolutely life changing. I pick virtual reality. If you contrast that virtual reality, everyone talk about it next trend. It may be a future, but today, if you talk to people who are VR headset, they don't use them every hour. Use them every day. Most of them don't use every week. They sit on the shelf. The one very common way the most people make this mistake bad ideas that look where I look good ideas are chasing things that work out to your ego. So if you find yourself doing that very skeptical, if you find yourself tempted to invest in one company where hundreds of workers working on same thing, be very skeptical. Products, the best companies all have great product. Unfortunately, the current person is Silicon Valley. I think has gone a little bit too away from this, and it's too much about growing and sales and marketing machine and everything else. That does work for a while. You can get away actually for a long while by executing really well to grow a mediocre product, but you don't usually create a Facebook size company by doing that. I heard about those because they were so good that one of one of my friends spontaneously told me about it. They were not being incentivized to. They didn't market to me. They didn't advertise to me. It's just like someone I just trusted said you got to try the new thing. It's amazing, and if the startup not going to get there, I think they will not at that number of one spot on the power of return. So I think it is really important filter exponential growth. Let's say 25 1.2. It's like where this is company it's really hard. It's how companies get super valuable. So I long ago I learned to stop trying to trust my intuition. I just model it out. This is one of the most important concept in startup investing. This is one of the best thing differentiate investing and stuff from investing. You're looking for a company that give you more powerful as it got bigger. You're looking for a company that get increasing pricing power as it got bigger. All the value in a startup is the revenue, the earning it's going to generate in years 10 or 11 from now. So if you can't answer this, we are skeptical. Help to function sound almost always the number of one thing you want to help with this hiring. So helping them finding really good people, help them interview back when I was sort of active angel investor before YC. I tell founder like you can use me as much as you want to interview. I will help recruit. I will help resource people. I will help you close. Help in the future fundraising and then help you fund so just not everyone wants to provide the big strategic advice and I think one of the thing that I did well when I was engineer, I would just try to available all the time for tactical advice. But I think a lot of value just come just from being available at 11 on Friday night when the founder needed a 2 minute phone call from so super ability of technical. We had many sophisticated founder, but that were smart and wanted to learn, and this for a right reason and supervision oriented come through this door. I think one thing you can do is look at a shift in a consumer behavior that rate creating the market. So if you don't thought of Uber as a replacement for booking limo service, that was one thing. If you start to realize that people had begun to use the replacement of taxi, then transit and then car ownership, you could project forward all the right. Solo not tackle found I wouldn't say I never would. I done it before. I think I can work like it when the founder learn enough from NVT where I have seen so go wrong often in the ability to attract ability and return technical oh a good amount of help. I think a good amount of willingness to take feedback and drive improving what you know. You do also have to sort of believe then you can succeed in spite of all the flaws. Thank you so much. Meet you again. Ha ha ha. That's all today. It's already 16 minutes 33 seconds. Tata. Bye bye. See you again.